Hello, everyone. This is David for the Chicago Smart Podcast. This is being recorded on Saturday morning, October 4th. If you guys hear any birdies in the background, I'm not sure if you do. I'm sitting out in here in my front porch, or I guess the bench here outside my house, um, on a beautiful October day. Um, so before I get on with my day and go out and spend some time with my family today, yes, I know there is playoff baseball today, but I'm trying to be intentional, and it's good to be intentional and spend some time with my family. And you always have your phone, so you can always check the ticker for any games you're interested in this afternoon. What I wanted to do was provide you guys a now division series preview for the American League and National League, but also before I go there, go ahead and give a wrap up on that wild card round for the teams that have advanced and those that did not advance. So I'm going to start in the American League. The Guardians and the Tigers. That series, I completely misjudged that one and literally picked the wrong team, which is fine. I don't bet. I didn't bet on it. I didn't lose any money. All I have to do is sit here and tell you I was wrong, right? I'm not losing anything other than to say, hey, I made a bad pick, which is fine. I just thought that the momentum the Guardians had built up coming back from that 15, 15 and a half game deficit they had against the Tigers. I thought that would just be enough. But then somebody brought up a point that I completely missed, and I didn't really put it together until somebody else said it. And this was during the oh my goodness, the Baseball Today podcast that's on YouTube, but I know it's also on the other podcast platforms, like Apple Podcasts and Spotify, I believe as well. It's Trevor Plouffe, and I hope I'm saying his name right. Former major leaguer Trevor Plouffe and Chris Rose, which you guys might know from Fox and MLB Network and other platforms he's been on over the years. They have a really good podcast. I enjoy listening to it every day if I get a chance to actually watch it. Maybe not live, but after it's released sometime in that day, I do like to watch it. But listening is good too because I can just don't need to hear their points. I don't really need to see them. They made a really good point about the series, and it's the fact that the Tigers had seen the Guardians so much over the past week to week and a half before this playoff series because of the way the regular season shook out that they just got a better look at their pitchers. I mean, obviously the Guardians did too, but I feel like you see a pitcher so much that you start to sort of recognize what he's going to throw, especially in such a quick succession. If it's over a couple of months, that pitcher has probably made adjustments. So has that batter. But again, because of the brief time that they've seen each other, and it was so close to this playoff series, the Tigers took it. And again, just the Guardians, they had to have a lot of stuff go right, which is another point they made. But again, I thought that that momentum was just so big. But the Tigers said, "Hey, we're already here. These guys already took the division from us. This is our shot to say, hey, that's fine. We're going to be in the history books as having this collapse, but it's not going to be a total collapse. It's going to be like, but hey, they blew a 15 and a half game lead they had in the division. But when it really counted, they got in there somehow by the skin of their teeth and they beat this team. And that's what you got to do. So, hats off to the Tigers. I mean, I like Javi, former Cub, so I had no dog in the race on that one, but I just thought the Guardians were just been better. They just weren't better. There was a lot of things that didn't go right for them. Um, that game one was really good. Um, but again, it just I think the Tigers just took it as, we got to finish this job. His job's got to get done. You know, Tarek Skubal set the tone. You were going to see, hey, is Tarek Skubal really back? Like I know that he had that injury. Sometimes that could slow you down. You need to get that momentum back. You need to feel like you're locked in. He certainly was locked in. He set the tone in game one and he took care of business. So that one I misjudged. And on they go to face the Mariners, right? Do I have that right? I hope I have that. I hope I have the series right because I know it's Mariners and Blue Jays. Yeah, because the Blue Jays are taking on the Yankees. So that's going to be an interesting series. Tigers and Mariners, right? Mariners winning the division. You're waiting. Will that layoff make a difference? And again, that you could say that for all the teams that are got that bye, well, what would that layoff do, right? I know they've had scrimmages and all that, but what's that going to do? I will go ahead and I will give you guys a prediction on that once I review the other wild card series. Staring in the American League. Sorry, I'm thinking nature's been doing a nice little thing with my allergies that I don't know that I had, but apparently I do. So I apologize if I sound a little nasally, but it's beautiful. Like I said, it's 80 degrees on Saturday. October 4th. So I just have to repeat that to myself. um, as far as the Yankees and the Red Sox, another one that I'm sorry. I just, the Yankees had so many problems in the season, specifically on defense and just a lot of things. And specifically, even after that first game, Garrett Crochet was like lights out. Man had 100 and what, 10 pitches or something like that? I think something like that, maybe a little less than 110. Ridiculous. I mean, he pitched his butt off in that first game, and you thought that was enough. The Yankees said, "Nope. This is this is now. These next two games are elimination games. We got our back against the wall. We're gonna go ahead and respond back." And the Boston just did not have an answer for them. And then to the opposite, that yin to that yang of Garrett Crochet. Here comes in that elimination game, Cam. I hope I'm saying his name right, and I apologize if it sounds like it's a cuss word. Shitler? Sorry, I hope I'm not saying it right. I'm wrong. I apologize if there's kids in the car or you're listening to this in the car or you're listening to it near kids. I apologize. I'm just gonna call him Cam because I don't want to keep messing up his name. The kid just was really good. I mean, that's I mean, again, how can you not be romantic about baseball? Like this man is from Boston, grew up a Red Sox fan, went to a college out there in Boston. I think they said it was Northeast, I think, or something like that. I hope I have that correct. Um, believe like a seventh round pick or something like that. Whatever. The kid wasn't topping 90 at the time. Now he's going topping 100 and comes and just breaks, the Red Sox fans' heart in that game three, decisive winner go home elimination game. Like, wow. Like, I am not a Yankees fan. I've told you before, my two favorite teams are the Cubs and the Red Sox. So it was hard, man, but you got to tip your hat to that kid just as much as you tip your hat to uh to Garrett Crochet, you got to tip your hat to Cam. Like that kid was just great. And can he carry over to that Blue Jay series? I mean, oh my goodness! Wait till I get to these previews for these division series because I've heard a lot of good podcasts, a lot of good points, and these division series are going to be really good. And I hope that I don't make bad picks again when I give those previews. But wow, like I did not see the Yankees advancing past this round. Um, considering that, you thought that Aaron Judge was gonna have to beat Aaron Judge and like being bombs, but Aaron Judge just was just little knocks here and there. I didn't know we know what Giancarlo Stanton we were gonna get. Jazz wasn't exactly the most mature in that post game interview in game one where he had his back turned completely to the reporters, which is like you got to wear it, man. I get it. Sometimes you just don't want to talk to anybody. You've lost. You just don't want to talk to anybody. And I get that, right? Like, I've never played professional sports, but I can just imagine, right? Like, you just lost this game 30 minutes, maybe less ago. These guys are right in your face with a mic asking you how you feel. And it's just like, you have all these emotions, you have all these feelings. And it's just, what do you say, right? So, maybe we give Jazz a pass. I don't know. You guys decide on how you think you should have reacted just because there was somebody else that didn't have such a good reaction during a loss, which I'll get to when we get to the NL side. But so your winners there are Yankees and Tigers. They move on. Yankees are taking on the Blue Jays starting today in Toronto, and Tigers and Mariners in Seattle tonight. So, I mean, please don't look past any of these series. I expect these series to be really good because, again, and part of my ignorance, past Scooble. I mean, is it Casey Mays? I mean, is I don't know, like I past school, but what do they have, right? Like I mean, but again, these guys are scrappy. They're a scrappy team, so you never know. You never know. Sometimes there's unsung heroes in these playoffs that you don't even know. Guys that don't really make a difference or not really on your radar during the regular season or even during the previous round, and they'll come out and show out, right? With Kerry Carpenter, show the Kerry Carpenter of last year when he was in the playoffs. Kerry Carpenter made me a fan of his. I didn't know much about the kid. And now I follow him on Instagram just because him and I align in on some things, beliefs and things like that. I don't think I've ever written it before that I'm a Christian. I've never really tried to get into too much of that or into politics on here because that's not what this platform is about. But I'm not also not afraid to state my beliefs on what they are. I'm not going to get too much into that, not because I'm ashamed, but just because I think we hear enough of that, and I don't mean that in any disparaging way to anybody who listens to this who's a Christian or is um, supports one political group or the other. It's just I think we hear a lot of that throughout our daily, whether it be on social media. So we know that lately with everything that's been going on in this world. Um, I think that this is a good time to just maybe just take your mind off of that for a little bit. But getting back to baseball, Gary Carpenter, fantastic, fantastic young man, good hitter. Just didn't know too much about him. Maybe he'll show out this year, or this round. So we'll see. On the uh, on the other side, like I said, the Yankees advance. We're going to see what's going to happen in this next round. I don't want to tip my hand too quickly before I get into those playoff previews. Moving on to the NL wild card. Again, I picked wrong with the Dodgers. I really, again, with the Dodgers, I'm gonna be honest with you. With the Dodgers, you're just I don't know. With the Dodgers, you just don't know what you're gonna get. I mean, you just don't know what you're going to get with the Dodgers. It's I mean, especially with that bullpen, it's not so much the starting pitching is do they have enough, have they scored enough runs so that the other team doesn't score? Because I believe it was game 2, was it? And I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm sure it was game 2 where it was like 10. It might have been at that point 10 or it might have been 8. I think they ended up scoring 10 altogether, but it might have been at that point 6 or maybe 8 to 1 or 2, and they had the bases loaded. Sasaki couldn't find the plate for some reason. He was just having trouble. Then he struck out the next 3 guys. Um, But then again, it's just that's that X factor that I think why I picked the Reds over the Dodgers. Not that the Dodgers are scrubs. Again, it's not like the Reds have any guys that are setting anything on fire, but I just thought, hey, they're up against the champs. They're going to take their shot. I really thought the Reds would go to 3 games and surprise and upset the Dodgers, but the Dodgers do what the Dodgers do, and it's not like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. No, it was suspected. I mean, I suspected it. I suspected it. So again, it's a bad pick. I didn't put any money on it. It was just my pride, I guess, right? I guess if you want to call it that. Anyways, in to the next series. Not going to say too much about the Dodgers because the Dodgers did do what the Dodgers do, and that's what they paid all that money for that lineup and that pitching rotation for, and your bullpen, right? The Cubs and the Padres. That's the one I really want to talk about, focus on just a little bit before I get into my previews. Try to make this one as brief as possible, the episode itself, just because, like I said, I'm trying to be intentional and spend some time with my family today. We should probably be getting going soon. But I'm sorry, excuse me, the Cubs and the Padres. I picked the Cubs in 3. The Cubs won in 3. Great. I'm glad. Cubbies fan. That's fantastic. What I want to talk about is game 1. Game 1 certainly set the tone. It wasn't like these 2 guys were going literally like knock for knock, right? Padres scored 2, Cubs scored 3. And it was a back and forth. It was like a heavyweight fight. Boom, boom, boom. They're in the middle of the ring, punching each other. No, 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 no. What I want to focus on is specifically, it wasn't like they set the world on fire, right? What was really featured, what was such a big part of this series was that bullpen for both teams. That bullpen from the Padres is scary. That's the X factor for them that I was scared about, was they were scary. I was also scared that Manny, Fernando, Tatis, and um, Luis Arias would wake up, right? They didn't. They did what a lot of people thought they were gonna do. I don't know, because again, regular season is regular season. Sometimes in the playoffs, something just clicks and it just something happens, right? I don't know, right? But they need to make some decisions in the offseason. I'm certainly not a Padre fan. I am a baseball fan, but they're gonna have to make some decisions in the offseason because this seems to almost be like or rerun, right? It's like almost like Groundhog Day. We keep seeing the same thing happen with these teams, right? They get so close, and all of a sudden, in the playoffs, they just, I don't know, right? And again, it wasn't like the Cubs. Like I said, we're setting the world on fire in game one. Literally, the difference was those two home runs, a little, a little, a little bloop, and that's it. The bullpen, right, shut it down. The bullpen looked great. Craig made all the best decisions, and it was a victory for the Cubs, right? Game two was different. Yeah, the Cubs just got shut down, and Mason Miller just looked like a buzzsaw. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this kid is really good. I knew he was really good. I saw him with the athletics a little bit, even when we played him earlier this year, when we started the season, when he was still with the A's, right? The Sacramento A's. I keep always want to call them Oakland. Sacramento A's, not exactly yet, and not ready to be Las Vegas A's yet. Um, he looked good. I mean, and that's what scared me because it's like if that's what we have to face in Game Three and we're down, we're done, right? We're done. Game three, they scored early. Man, let's talk about JMO. JMO was just ridiculous. Four shutout innings. Didn't walk anybody that I can remember. Four strikeouts or something like that, right? Again, if you'd have told me JMO was going to do something, I'd be like, wow, that would be great. Because again, JMO's hit or miss sometimes. If you've watched him through the season, he's hit or miss sometimes. But if he's locked in, this is the version of JMO we need. This is the version of JMO that we need and that we desperately need to keep us in these games because the offense that they put forth with with against the Padres, that's not going to be enough for the Milwaukee because Milwaukee's just scrappy. Milwaukee's will beat you to death with these little, I don't want to say small ball, but they'll do the right things. They play good situational baseball, right? Good situational baseball that they play. They play fantastic situational baseball.